If he's not beating the shit out of people dressed up in cheap high school mascot outfits, he's either doing that or he's just looking at the camera crazy. All this shit comes easy for Nicolas Cage, by the way. You know, this ain't nothing that he hasn't done before. There's a movie where all he has to do is like, or look at somebody. Hey everyone, support our Patreon, which helps us to continue bringing you our live streams, videos, and podcasts while bringing you new content such as exclusive live streams and animated shorts. You know something? And this is proof that Nicolas Cage, man, how much he just loves to do crazy shit. So Nicolas Cage, he just peruses the internet to find crazy shit. You know, he was on the internet one day. I think he was on crazyscripts.com, and he found this story. He found this story where it's like a man wants to get his car fixed, and to do so, he has to go and spend the night cleaning a haunted Chuck E. Cheese, or in this case, the equivalent, WILLY'S Wonderland. And this has to do with animatronics at this ripoff Chuck E. Cheese coming to life and killing people. But of course, you know, when we see Nicolas Cage in here and they do lock him up in this place, as somebody said in the trailer, it's crazy fucking Nicolas Cage. He's not locked in there with them. They're locked in with him. And therefore, I mean, fuck, that's pretty much it. You know, I don't know what else to say. Nicolas Cage battles animatronics, haunted animatronics. This is a project, when he saw that, he said a man gets trapped inside of a rip-off Chuck E. Cheese and beats the shit off out of haunted animatronics. He said, you know what? Sign me up. You know, not only sign me up. Let me see, where my wallet at? I'll produce this. This is, out of all the scripts that he got, he says, nah, man, this is the one right here. That doesn't mean it's good. Or does it? Let's go ahead and take a look at the trailer for something that people have been eagerly looking forward to. Well, I don't know. No, because we all love Nicolas Cage today. The crazier the better, right? Is that a good thing right here? Let's go ahead and take a look at the trailer for WILLY'S Wonderland, starring crazy-ass Nicolas Cage. He like, mother. Do you not know I'm Nicolas Cage? It's almost like that. That Oscar said, I noticed with all that goddamn shoe polish on your face right there.
It's birthday time.
Nicolas Cage, his name doesn't exactly spell quality, but it spells something weird, different. Probably hadn't really seen it done before. Or maybe you have, but you haven't seen it done the way that he does it. Yeah, but it don't ever say good. You know, this is what it is.
No, that's what I was trying to think. I was like, I feel like Lord of War or Matchstick Men were the last two good movies that he made.
I always want to say Mandy. I know a lot of people haven't seen that, but Mandy I thought was really good. And that was crazy Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
But thankfully, the movie itself was actually pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
No, I thought about Mandy, but when you say like it's crazy Nicolas Cage, like the two movies I mentioned where he wasn't crazy Nicolas Cage, he was just he was an actor.
He was acting fair.
Yeah. You know, no, Nicolas Cage, as we said, he doesn't take shit unless in the contract it says, or in the script it says character is fucking nuts. He doesn't do it. Some people say that they're for easy paychecks because, well, all Nicolas Cage has to do is come in and play himself. And if we're going to talk about easy paychecks, you know, this right here, some people say, yeah, he really did it for the paycheck here. This is probably one of the easiest paychecks that he had right here. And as I said, the hair dye. Yeah, the hair dye for his fucking beard. But this check, let me just say this check that he got here is so easy because he didn't even have to, like, he doesn't even talk in this. He didn't have to even memorize lines. If he's not beating the shit out of people dressed up in cheap high school mascot outfits, he's either doing that or he's just looking at the camera crazy. All this shit comes easy for Nicolas Cage, by the way. You know, this ain't nothing that he hasn't done before. There's a movie where all he has to do is like, or look at somebody.
Oh, you one of those guys don't want to look back, huh? You one that the past lives in the past, huh? Yeah, I understand. No, can't blame you.
You know, that is it right there, man. All you have to do, I don't even think there was a script for him, because he ain't got to memorize shit. He ain't got to say anything to anybody. How easy to come in and tell somebody, give somebody a crazy look, and every now and then pick up a stick and beat the shit out of something. You know, when I look at this, it either, not only is it an easy script, or if there was a script at all for him, but all the money must have went to him, because this movie's cheap as fuck. I mean, there's low budget, and there's cheap, and there's cheap as fuck. I looked at it, seemed like it, and the funny thing about it is, like, movie's not hiding it. They want you to know, again, before the credits even open, how cheap this movie is. They had a scene at the beginning of the movie where within seconds, they turned around the same corner. It's in the same edit. You can see the shit there for what it is. He's like, oh, this corner's killing me. Jesus, can we find another corner to go down? This is a very, very, very bargain bin Five Nights at Freddy's, to the point where it's probably not delivering on any of the expectations that people would have out of this concept. But I'll go ahead and pass it to you guys, whoever wants to take it next.
Well, I'll say this, because, yeah, obviously this movie instantly reminds you, if you have played it, Five Nights at Freddy's. And that game is about, 30 to 45 minutes. I'd say it's a relatively short game. It's a very short series. It doesn't take a lot of time to actually beat it. And I think one of the big flaws of this movie is that it's longer than that. It's like about an hour and 20 plus minutes. And it's like, okay, like now you're just kind of, you have the basic Five Nights at Freddy's premise of the animatronics. It's like you need a little bit more than that, a little more personality. I think, the thing that's honestly, the thing that people love about Nicolas Cage, and when he does play these over-exaggerated roles, is his lines. It's the charisma that he just expels throughout the movie. You could pick any film, whether it be Face Off or Mandy, even Color Out of Space. And the thing that the filmmakers, the big mistake that they make is to take away his voice. And they rely on these sight gags time and time again, thinking that, well, if we just tell the same joke over and over and over, people are going to be charmed by him. But at the end, I'm like, I'm sick of him. I'm sick of all these other nothing characters who are just there to die.
This could have been any actor for what they did. And his whole OCD of, I got to drink these 2 cans of this soda and play a video game. It's almost like, all right, if nothing else, I want to get to the end to find out why this was a thing. But it was like that movie, that Denzel Washington movie, The Little Things. Like, when you get to the end, you're like, well, shit, that wasn't even really a thing. I don't even know why you put this in here, other than you had nothing else. One of the bigger problems I had with it is that for all this going on, this whole, we got to sacrifice somebody to the Chuck E. Cheese gods. It doesn't even kind of explain that till later in the movie. And it's populated with a cast of teenagers that are just terrible. Yeah. They're like it's not simply that they're annoying, you want them to die, but there's just nothing to them. So the longer it's on them, the more it's like, man, I'm not getting anything from this at all. I have no feeling whatsoever.
With what you guys are saying, with him not having a voice or him not talking, that could be a problem I see for a lot of people, because with this, as I said, this being sort of a very cheap film and being a very bargain bin Five Nights at Freddy's, it's more goofy than scary. There's not one moment, like I said, with Five Nights at Freddy's, the whole thing about the game, and you can't help but draw the comparison, because this is look, they ain't even hiding it. It's a complete ripoff of Five Nights at Freddy's, all right? Because that's what everybody's thinking of when they see it. So fuck it, let's not play here. But there's not one moment where you are panicked, where in that game is a true horror story. You are panicked. It's a panic-inducing game, as I said. You're not panicked here because Nicolas Cage, he actually does since he doesn't talk, he's reduced to doing only 5 things in the movie. And those 5 things are, and it's a cycle. Actually, he goes into he repeats these same 5 things throughout the film. He's there to clean the place to get his car fixed. He kills an animatronic. He takes a break, drinks a soda, plays pinball, and then he gets back to work until the next animatronic decides to come up and start some shit with him, and he beats the shit out of that one, and the cycle continues. And that honestly, that is it.
The biggest anxiety I had in this movie was that when he would kill an animatronic and oil would spray everywhere, I was like, oh shit, he just cleaned that area. Now he's got to go back and clean it again.
Yeah, he did. And you know what?
That was my biggest anxiety.
And that was funny because
all over again.
He is dedicated. That fool went back to work and cleaned up that spot where he killed. Hey, listen, say what you will about the guy, but he keeps a deal. They tried to kill this motherfucker, man. And he said, but you know what? A deal's a deal. I had to clean the place and get my car fixed. It was almost like, listen, that was funny to me that he ignored, like, oh, they're animatronics, haunted animatronics trying to kill me. No, I did a handshake and I got to clean the place like I said. So, because that's his deal. They have a setup in the town, almost like a Stephen King setup. They trap people. They put out the spikes on the road. The tires go flat. They take it to the mechanic. The mechanic says, I don't take credit. We don't have an ATM. Tell you what, though, we got this Chuck E. Cheese over here. If you want to clean that place up and work it off, stay there for the night if you ain't got any place to go, and we'll get you ready and set in the morning. Should be easy, right? And most people, of course, who do it die, except for him. And that fool is the most honest and dedicated. I gotta tell you, I will put that on my fucking resume. I killed a fucking room full of Chuck E. Cheese animatronics so I could just do my job. If that ain't dedication, then I don't know what is. I actually found that hilarious that he did that. And but the thing is that that's all there is to it. He's just that honest of a worker. That's how he's just a very dedicated. They call him the janitor. He don't even have a name, because I thought in the movie, I thought there was going to be a bigger secret, because he kept drinking his drink. He kept doing these, kept killing these animatronics. I thought, well, shit, he's a warrior sent from beyond to them. We're like, nah, he's sent by God to. Oh, his parents were killed by these animatronics when he was a boy. And he's come back to avenge them. We're like, stop! No, that's none of that shit. Is it? He's crazy Nicolas Cage, and he's killing them with crazy power. The creatures are not scary. I can see why Nicolas Cage beats them up so easy, because, like I said, they're just people in these cheap ass costumes you can get from any kind of Party City or the costume store. But they're supposed to be animatronics, so every now and then they'll try to move like robots, but after a while they're just like, just fuck it, and they just start walking like people. And it's they use
CGI every so often, but
really bad CGI.
Do they use CGI? Because I didn't even know they had the budget.
For some of the blood effects, CGI blood. And
CGI for the blood, and it's every so often
for the blood,
products. They use CGI for them and have them, look kind of weird, or maybe they're just enhancing what was live action. Those are not CGI. I tell you that right now. These motherfuckers ain't got the budget they barely got the budget for these costumes. What they did was they would speed the film up or something, but they didn't make no models of these characters. Maybe they did that, but it is one of those things where the way he takes him out is so unspectacular. You're like, you teenagers, if you had ganged up, you could have done it as well. It just takes away any kind of feeling of fear or anxiety. You're just like, all right, you're only dying because you're stupid.
Yeah, they try to make them scary. Yeah, they try to make it. There's occasions where they try. I won't even say they're trying to make them scary. Where there is blood, there is an attack, and when they do, and I have no scenes from it, but there are moments where they do attack every now and then. And when they do, it shit looks silly, because all they do is just that the costume gets over the body of a teenager and just goes, and they're like, and somebody just squirting blood. Just up in there. You don't see them gnawing on anybody. You don't see any flesh being torn. You just see them down there motorboating. And they're like, and the person's below them talking about, and it's just somebody just squeezing blood packets, and it's going everywhere. There's really none of that going on in here as far as good kills, anything. I liked it. And the reason why is because the moment I knew that what it wasn't, and listen, yes, this is a lot of people gonna hate this shit, and I know that. And I ain't getting a debate with anybody over goddamn Willy's Wonderland. It's like Willy's Wonderland is something where if somebody told me I hate that film, I'm like, well, yes, of course, it's not a good film, it's cheap as fuck, but you know, people just gonna have different ways of seeing it. I see what you guys see completely. You see a shitty film and it doesn't work on certain things, and it is a disappointment. I think that this could be so much better if they had done a little bit more punching up on the script and with the characters. Definitely so. But the way I saw it shortly after the movie was going, I said, man, this movie's a joke. And they know it. It's a joke that everybody and everything is in on. The cheap budget is part of the joke. They know it looks silly. They know these costumes look stupid. They know these costumes look bad. That's part of it, man. I was like, all right, you know what? They want to make this a cartoon, and they're not taking this seriously at all. You know, he's pinning him with a plunger, and every time he hits him with the plunger, boing, boing, and it's like, I understand. Some people don't like that. I completely understand that. I'm not fighting with anybody on that. But it made me laugh, man. You know, you know, it's something where I'll be honest with you, when I watched it, I did laugh out loud sometimes, but I'm silly. I like silly shit like this. This is something I rented so many movies like this when I was a kid. Cheap horror movies. Some of them ended up being funny. It's in the vein of things that, if you listen, I'll put it this way. It's in the vein of some movies that I grew up with that I like. And some of them are cult classics, and some of them are truly bad movies, and I still like them. I thought of Sam Raimi with this. I thought of Evil Dead 2, the Evil Dead series. I thought of Leprechaun. I thought of a movie that I loved when I was growing up that had a cheap ass budget. Not as cheap as this, but another cheap ass movie that I loved growing up that is a huge cult classic that this reminded me of.
Knock my block off.
You know, somebody put it perfectly. It's like a trauma film. And if you don't like trauma films, you also thought those were bad, then yeah, please don't watch something like this. But let me just say this, so you guys know I'm not being combative or anything. I completely understand where you're coming from. I was about to press send on the link so you guys could watch this. I felt bad about it. I was like, you know what? I really don't want to do this. These motherfuckers are not gonna like. I don't want to do this to them. They are not gonna like it, and they got better things to do today. You know, I didn't even want to do that to y'all, man.
It's like, I know that they're trying to be funny with these repeated sight gags over and over and over again, but I think it's, you know, it diminishes it over time. And, you know, you have your other main characters, whether they don't have to be well written, that's fine, but they have to at least be memorable and charismatic and funny.
Yeah.
And any attempt at humor in this movie, whether it was a physical thing or what somebody said, it just always fell flat. And it just feels like you're just trying to ape better films at the end of the day. And it's just kind of disappointing.
The thing is, I completely agree with you. I 100% agree with you. For some reason, I just like it, but I agree with you. I agree with you too, Martin. I agree with both y'all. Like I said, I'm still feeling guilty after giving y'all this shit. And for another... What?
I said, you agree with me. I haven't even said anything.
Martin, remember that one thing you spoke for like 5 seconds? Like, I agree with that 5 seconds.
Martin, whatever you're about to say, I agree with. I ain't fighting with you over goddamn Willy's Wonderland.
I agree with Chris Herman so much, especially about it being flat, because that's the main thing I thought is that, and he's right. It's trying to ape these other better movies that have done this. That this is a movie that comes in and it's totally resting on the laurels of, hey, we have a Five Nights at Freddy's and we got Nicolas Cage. What more do we need? And there's just so much of this movie that just is kind of like, man, you guys, you could have tightened this up. There's so much you could have done to make this work, and you didn't even bother. And some of it is budget, granted, and some of it is just not writing well. Like with those teenage reject CW characters they had, it's like, man, did you really have to make them so annoying that we really did want them all to die? Like none of them do anything that makes you want them to live. That's terrible. It's such a, man, what a waste of Nicolas Cage, which I'm so not used to saying. Mm-hmm. Most of the time it's like, oh, that's weird, you stuck him in there. Like we saw that Kung Fu movie recently where they didn't have to have him, but he was something of a bright spot, just throwing him in there. It was odd, but it was a bright spot. And here you got him in here for most of the movie. He's a producer, he's a main character, and yet it's like, yeah, this could have been anybody. You could have got the guy who played Darth Maul for this. It didn't even matter.
Yeah, and like I said, I can't argue with you on that. Not that I would, and I agree, and I do think that are there better Nick Cage movies out there that take advantage of his Nick Cageness? Yes, I do, but something about this that made me laugh, and I enjoyed it. There were things in here that, let me see, that, like, I like the little things that you guys were talking about, which again, I completely see where you're coming from, but those things made me laugh. Every time Nicolas Cage had to change a t-shirt whenever he killed one of these animatronics because they would get oily, because the guy told him where they were, he found them. And he's like, there's a stack of them. I found that funny. Even him being a quiet character, even that didn't bother me, because him just staring at things made me laugh after a moment. Like when he walked up and he had a staring match, not with Willie the animatronic, that fool was he was ready to start a fucking fight with the sign outside before he even got in. And that's why Willie lost, because he was ready to beat the fuck out that sign before he even got into the real Willie. That thing.
Sure.
Yeah, things like, look,
It just felt like it was leading to something, and it didn't.
Yeah,
that was the big disappointment.
And like I said, I understand that. And again, look, because we disagree, I want you to know, I understand where you're coming from. This is not any pushback from me at all. All I can do is talk for old drunk ass Corey right here. All I can do is speak for me and tell you how I feel. I will tell you this: there are some people in the movie that I did like, and there was some that I didn't. Definitely, I thought the teenagers in the movie that you're speaking of. There's a girl in here, Emily Tosta. I'm not, and again, I'm not saying that she's a bad actress at all. She's kind of the other hero to Nicolas Cage. She's the one that realizes that what's really going on in town. And they try to bring backstory with these teenagers, and some of it's interesting, but a lot of it is just mainly exposition. They're just there to tell you what's happening. There's so much exposition instead of just actually doing the story. And some of it's because they know it's silly and it sounds funny when they say it out loud. And some of it's like they really are trying to just wrap things up. But I don't think that her delivery in the movie is very good. I like the sheriff in the movie. I'll show you a picture of him in a little bit. I like this guy right here.
No, that guy was good.
Chris Warner. They just have little things they don't explain. And that's what I like about the movie. They don't explain things. He always has beef jerky in his mouth. Not a cigar, not a cigarette. He's always chewing on beef jerky for some reason. They don't explain why. It's just happening because that's what he does. The sheriff in the movie, I thought was pretty good. Let me see if I can find a picture of this. Now, I don't know if there he is. Actually, I actually like this guy. That is... Rick Wrights is his name. Rick Wrights is his name. And I thought he played the sheriff pretty well. Just slimy from the beginning. Like, why would you even want to go in there after he talks to you? There's some people in here who are having a good time with it. And that's why I liked it for. There are people here who are just everyone is aware of the joke that they're in on. Nobody's here to get an award. Everybody's here to get a check and to have some fun. They'll tell you that in a minute. It was a check and it just looked stupid and fun. We got to drink some beer and we got to have fun on the set, and it was just, it was a quick shoot. At least that's the way I saw it. Now, if other people see it differently, I completely see that. It is not for everybody. I would be at that audience at a festival, because we say it all the time. If there was a festival movie where people would scream and shout and the movie wouldn't even be that good, which is true. But I would be part of that crowd where it was like, man, I'm drinking a pitcher of beer right here. I'm already drunk off my ass. It's midnight. Yeah, I'm having fun with this shit. That's what it's meant for.
I was honestly, I didn't feel angry watching this. But it was just such a feeling of this had so many opportunities to be better. No. And I know it was going for, and it's kind of, it's going after the low hanging fruit. And I've been to too many screenings like this with stuff like this, and I just don't like it. I don't even know that I would give it some old bullshit, but it is a low rental.
All right, Chris Herman. Oh, wow, low rent. Jeez, man, you talk all that shit. I'm mad you didn't give it some more bullshit. You talked all that shit, and I was like, man, you might as well just come in and give us.
I've seen some old bullshit movies. I get where, like, Corey, I get where you're coming from. I get why you liked it. And there was times once most of the teenagers were out of the way where I started to like it some. But ultimately, the fact that it brings up things that it doesn't even bother to answer, I find that a problem.
It's just not memorable, and I just don't think it's worth watching for anyone, really. But hey, if you like it, if you want to, if you're curious, check it out. I'm just hoping that people who look at this and realize we can do this even better. But for me, yeah, I'd have to give it some old bullshit, a high some old bullshit.
Nobody should be held up against their opinions on whether they like this or not. It's that kind of film. It's it's stupid, and it does kind of, for people who love Nicolas Cage for what he does. I agree with Chris over there. A lot of people just love the way Nicolas Cage just says his lines. He throws so much into it, and and then half of it is like when he has a voice, he vocalizes things insane. That motherfucker asked for water and would not ask for it in a normal way. I'll have some water, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? That's why you want to see Nicolas Cage do that. So yeah, I don't think he utilizes Nicolas Cage to the fullest, not at all. However, as I've said before, this is something that I absolutely could have fun with when I'm not looking for a serious movie at all. I mean, I can't blame anybody for coming in and holding those small details, even big details against it.
Small?
Yeah, but if I was drinking and I was hanging out with people, if I was just at home like I was watching this, where I'm just cooling out, I got really nothing to do, I'm not in the mood for anything even kind of at all serious or thought-provoking. I just want to laugh. This appeals to my sensibilities. And by the way, I was drinking when I was watching this.
There it goes.
Yeah, but it was fun though. It was fun. It's hard to really even do a review for something like this because it is going to be that kind of movie where going in from the very first 5 minutes, you could show this to a group of people. 5 minutes of this movie, and you could tell people there would be no middle ground. Who appreciates what they're doing and who doesn't? The room would fucking split like the goddamn Red Sea, and there would be two different groups.
That would be really good if you went to a theater to see a movie, and 6 or 7 minutes in, they stopped it, and the usher came out and said, "Who wants to continue and who wants their money back?"
Yeah, and the people who left would be like, "I can't blame you, bitch." But I would say, no, but I would be there, and they're like, "Yeah." As long as I'm having some fun and we can party with this movie, that's what it is. It's a party movie. That's exactly what it is. Some movies are party movies because you don't need to sit up there and think too hard. People, you know where I'm going with this. I'll give it a high rental. It's something that I had a lot of fun with. So, and see, there go that motherfucker rolling his eyes over there looking at his stupid ass. Of course he would. So I saw you. I saw them eyes roll over there.
Come on, man. You know how bad this movie was.
I like this movie, man. I'm not apologizing for it. Why you gotta do that shit?
All the times we had disagreements on movies where I liked them and you didn't, you couldn't come in and go like, well, if I was drinking, perhaps then I could see. But this one gets that special treatment.
Do y'all see this? This is why I can't do this shit with this fool. I said the whole time, I said, man, do y'all see how I was begging? I said, I understand you. I appreciate you. I don't want to argue with you. And they still talking shit about me. That's why these motherfuckers can't be worked with. That's why you can't sit up here and have no fucking peaceful reviews with them. I tried. Did you see me? Fuck y'all, man. Lighten up and have fun with a movie. Shit. I tried with these fools. They wouldn't let me. Looking down on me. Let me have what I want to have. God damn you. You don't want no peace. What you laughing about, Chris? You too. You don't want none of that.
Yeah. Well, no. I'm looking down from my perch at you right now. It's adorable.
Oh, man. Shit on all y'all. That's all I have to say. That's why I didn't want to send you this shit anyway, man, because I didn't want to have the discussion with you. I didn't even want to review this goddamn movie with you because I knew this was going to go. I was looking at my wife today. I said, man, I don't want them to. Hey, people, you think I'm lying? I even sent a text to Martin. I said, man, you might be better off watching this other movie.
You did say that.
I saw that, yeah.
And I was like, oh, why is he trying to leave me out?
Yeah.
and then an hour into it, I was like, oh.
This is why.
Yeah. I said to him, hey, man, I got this other movie. Don't worry about this one. Mark like, nah, man, hit me up with that Willy's. I'm like, shit. Somebody said, I'm calling 911.